Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a spring treat video for you. We are going to make bunny shortbread with a glaze on top. So if you're interested in this recipe, please stick around and let's get started. So the ingredients that we are going to be using today are 1 cup of butter at room temperature so it's nice and soft. We have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. It's important that you use powdered instead of granulated. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So the rest of the tools we are going to need today, we have 2 plastic straws, and I will explain what these are for in a little bit. We have a rolling pin, there we go, and we have a baking mat, which we are going to use to actually roll the dough out on. I also have 2 cookie sheets that are lined with baking mats already. If you don't have baking mats like these, you can use parchment paper or wax paper. We are also going to need some cling wrap, and I am going to be using my KitchenAid stand mixer. Of course, you don't need a stand mixer. You can just use a spoon if that's what you have, but this is my trusty go-to mixer. And while I'm baking these cookies, little one over here is playing in her jumper, so hopefully she gives us enough time to actually bake. To begin, we must preheat our oven to 350 degrees. And while that's heating up, we are going to go ahead and mix up the dough. Now that the baby's down for her nap, I can finally get started. I'm beginning this recipe by whipping the butter in the mixer until it appears nice and fluffy. If you make these cookies, please be sure to tag me over on Instagram. I would love to see how they turn out for you. Now, once that looks right, I add in the powdered sugar and vanilla and turn the mixer on medium to make sure it is all incorporated together. I use a spatula to scrape the sides and turn the mixer back on. Make sure all the butter is mixed in and there's no unmixed butter or sugar or vanilla. The final step for this batter is to add in the flour and salt in small portions. So I'm going to take turns adding a little salt and flour until it is all incorporated into the batter. Since we are shaping these cookies, it is important that we chill the dough before we do so. So we are going to quickly put the dough in some plastic wrap, shape it into a disc, and throw it into the fridge. So while the dough is chilling, we are setting up to roll out our cookie dough. Here I have the baker's mat down, 2 straws, and a rolling pin. Some other tools we are going to need are a spatula to lift the cookies, I like this one here, and a cookie cutter of your choice. I'm going to use this cute little bunny to make bunny shortbread. Now that the dough is chilled, we will roll it out and shape the cookies. I use the straws when rolling out the dough to make sure each cookie is consistent. It is important that you make your cookies the same thickness so that they cook evenly. Using the straws makes it easy to roll the dough out every time evenly. You can buy guides at some cooking stores or use dowels, but I have these straws on hand and they work just as well. Now that the cookies are all shaped, we're going to pop them into the oven for 13 to 15 minutes. You'll know they are done when the bottom edges are golden brown. And while these cookies bake, let me know in the comments what's your favorite cookie to make. The ingredients we need for the lemon glaze we're going to put on top of the cookies are here. We have a half cup of lemon juice, a teaspoon of vanilla to cut down a little bit of that super sour taste, 2 cups of powdered sugar, and then we have some gel food coloring to mix in and make the colors pretty. We're also going to be using some toothpicks to mix those colors into the glaze. So we're going to get started on that now. This glaze is seriously so simple and so tasty. All you have to do is mix the lemon juice and vanilla into the powdered sugar until it's all combined and there's no longer any dry sugar. I like to use a whisk to make sure that it's all incorporated perfectly. So if you're not a fan of tart flavors like lemon, you can use milk instead of lemon juice to make an extra sweet treat. I choose to use the lemon because 1, it is my absolute favorite flavor, and 2, because it reminds me more of spring. To achieve that marbled look on the cookies, I dip a toothpick into gel food coloring and drag it through the glaze until I like the appearance. And then I simply dip a cookie and let the excess drip off. It really is just as easy as that. I prefer using gel food coloring because I find it easier to work with. However, if you have the liquid food coloring from McCormick or the other brands, those will work just as well. Just drop a few drops and drag it through using the toothpick and you will get the same effect as this marbling. To achieve more than one color on the cookies, I like to dye the base color or the glaze one color and then use an additional color to get that same marbling effect. So I just dip a toothpick into the gel and drag it through again. This blue was a little bit more on the stubborn side, so I had to actually tap it down into the bowl. But in the end, I actually really like the result. And here are the finished cookies. If you like this recipe, please make sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel for more mama motivation and lifestyle content. Check back this Friday for a look at how I meal plan and shop for groceries during this quarantined time. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.